8 o'clock. Let's get started. I want to respect everyone's time. Now I'm off camera because I'm driving. I'm headed to Austin this morning, going back to the House chamber to deal with legislations that will be passed today. But I'm happy this morning to introduce two very, very, very important speakers, particularly in a time such as this, when we've got political unrest, need higher political engagement. So we're going to start with the Power Breakfast. We're going to officially call the Power Breakfast to order. Do I have a volunteer to give us an opening prayer? Mr. Ken Lowe, could you give us some words of wisdom?
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. Give you words of wisdom?
Yes.
Okay.
And or prayer.
Fine. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all together. Thank you for seeing about us, seeing about our families. Thank you for giving us those particulars, those things that we think that we need. Give us those things that we're not sure about. Continue to bless our families and forgive us for our sins. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that. I like when we're able to do things impromptu. That tells me you're a true man of faith. You know a few words. Huh? So as we get started today, I want to start off by kind of giving everybody an overview of what's happening in Austin. And then we're going to hear from Gabriel Rosales, who's the state director of LULAC, and then our very own president of the NAACP, Dr. Hudspeth. But our goal today, one of our goals, is to kind of shine a light on what is happening on the ground, what our important organizations are doing. And also, before we finish today, we'll talk about next steps, what our actions need to be. Whether you're Republican, Democrat, or Independent, I think it's important that America gets back to what it used to be, and that is establishing some norms that we can all follow. So I think that's so important. So we're going to start with the state director of LULAC, Gabriel Rosales, who I've known for a number of years. And his family has been involved. For those of you who don't know the word LULAC, you'll know it today. With that, Gabriel, talk to our folks.
How are you? I want to thank everybody for being here. This has been an exhausting past couple of years trying to deal with the situation. On the ground, I think we have a lot of people that are experiencing discrimination on the job. I think because of that administration in the governor's mansion and in the White House, what goes unnoticed, right, is that worker, right, working for public entities where you have small towns and small cities across the state experiencing an uptick of discriminatory practices. So it's been an experience, to say the least, in taking some of those calls and people really needing to understand how it is that we can connect the dots and get them the help that they need to be able to address those issues in those small towns across the state. I had the pleasure of going to Austin and testifying against those maps. Of course, I want to thank Ms. Hawkins for the leadership that you provided on that committee. I want to thank the Democrats for doing what they could to try and push back. I've been in LULAC for many years. I was a Southwest VP, and as Southwest VP, I was a plaintiff on the redistricting lawsuits in the past. And so that, I think, is of great concern, because they have continued to try and dilute our vote. And thanks to, I really, really appreciated Mr. Gary Bledsoe, you're the state director of NAACP, and really kind of breaking it down on how they're doing this, right, with the fracking and the packing that goes on when they draw these lines. But it has always been their intent to dilute the minority representation in the state, whether it's in the state legislature or whether it's with the congressional maps that they presented today. what's going on there is extremely concerning because they completely have eliminated any kind of minority participation within that congressional delegation. I want to, so that's, where we're at. I'm in coalition with many other different organizations at the state and the national. I want to thank, shout out to my national president, Mr. Roman Palomares, in really working together with Urban League and NAACP at the national, and working with many other organizations, especially with MALDAP. Just got off a phone call, and we're working together with MALDAP to refile, reconstruct, right, so that it's inclusive of these new maps. Because we were in the middle of fighting the old maps that were unconstitutional. And now we find ourselves in a situation to where they've just gone on steroids when it comes to really not allowing us to have representation. I think we all know where the population growth is coming from. It has been for the past 20 years. That population growth has come from the minority communities, and they're just not going to respect that. So we find ourselves in a situation to where we need to stand up. And so what I have done is gone across the state and talk with people, because people want to make a difference. They just don't know how, right? So we're working together with our local councils throughout the state to help put together a civil rights manual. It's very difficult because of what we do have in the White House, where we were able to file with the EEOC, we were able to file with the Department of Justice and try to get some relief on some of the actions that have been taking place, not just in our public schools, but just around the community, depending on, whether it's police brutality, whether it's, the criminal justice system completely doing excessive sentencing on our communities, all these different things. We're kind of all over the place, so it can get kind of overwhelming in trying to address all these different issues and all these different parts of our economy and in our community, public schools, police departments. And so we're going to continue to try and help our communities, give them the tools necessary, and continue to build coalitions with different organizations that are out there, because we're stronger together. So we do have a couple lawsuits that we're going to continue to move forward with. But even more important is to put together a civic engagement program so that we can continue to participate within that democracy. I think everyone knows.
Did he freeze?
Give me,
All
yeah,
right.
and so that's okay. So I think everyone knows, and what I've been preaching across the state, that number one, nonviolence, right? Number one, we have to maintain our composure amongst so much hate that's been thrown upon us. It's critical. It's critical that we understand that our pathway to justice and equality is through that ballot box. I've had the pleasure of working with Mrs. Hawkins when she first ran for state rep, and we're so very happy that we have such leadership at the state legislature. But I worked together with my brother Manuel Medina, who we're right now fighting off this vote harvesting lie that they've placed upon our communities, working with the Frio City Six to help them to push back on something it's just, we haven't seen something like this since the Rosales days, when they arrested all those Latino elected officials down south. So it is going to take us, and I'm very proud on that issue when it comes to the Frio City Six. I'm very proud of the LULAC. I'm very proud of Domingo Garcia, who's put up the money for the defense. to try and fight back, push back on that lie. You know, vote eight, I can tell you right now, there ain't no vote harvesting going on, or whatever the hell vote harvesting is. I think a lot of people don't even understand what that is. They have for years and years. As a formal field director for the Democratic Party here at the local level, we know how campaigns are run. And so all we've done is gotten more effective in being able to win elections. And the governor noticed that. So when we went down south to continue to elect more Black and brown women to the legislature, is when we were attacked by that governor. So we stand strong and in just not going along with what's going on. I think one of the most heartbreaking issues that we're dealing with now is the separation of our children, is the kidnapping of our families in our communities right now. It's happening. It's real. And so we're prepared to get into some good trouble. We're prepared to confront these people when we see them in our neighborhood. Just a year back, I think, or I don't know, it's been a while, but they chased one of our workers, one of our family members, up into a tree. So these kinds of activity are on an uptick. And so we need to be vigilant. We need to be strong. And we also need to believe in that democracy. And I know, and I've said it time and time again, all right, our pathway to justice and equality is through that ballot box. And so we need to wake up. The 11 million Latinos didn't show up to the polls, and that's what we'll be focused on, is talking with our community, letting them know that elections have consequences. All right, and we're feeling that heat now, in the workplace, at the schools, in the churches, where these people tend to, nothing is off limits for them. So,
And thank you, Gabriel, for that, because
yes,
I think that was a broad and comprehensive overview of truly what's happening. And I want to reiterate, what Gabriel is talking about is real. This isn't just TV, it's real. And that's why today's conversation is so important, because we want to make sure y'all have the facts in terms of what's happening. We know that the news is hype sometimes, and our people don't believe what's going on. But what Gabriel has just expressed is truly the facts. Thank you for that, Gabriel. And thank you for,
thank you for the opportunity.
all the work y'all are doing. Now I'd like to, because I want to leave time for people to have questions and get clarity on issues, I want to give Dr. Hudspeth, the president of the local NAACP, and talk about what's happening at the NAACP, what you're hearing on the ground and the things that y'all are engaged in. Dr. Hudspeth.
Yes, thank you very much, Representative. Let me first just point out that Representative Gervin-Hawkins is our new hero. And that is that what she has done in the state legislature has just been extremely representative of what we need to have done in the state legislature. And in doing that, she put herself in jeopardy, if you will. And we appreciate that. I think Martin Luther King expressed it best, when he said, it's not where we stand, in times in which things are going well, it's where we stand when things are not going well. And so we know that State Representative Gervin-Hawkins has done that for us. And to that point, what we did is that the NAACP San Antonio branch invited her into our last our last branch meeting. And one of the things we want to do is that we want to ensure that we are educating folks and what's going on in our community. And we do that. The NAACP did not invite Donald Trump to our last national convention. He is the first president that has not been invited to speak to our convention. He was not invited. And we received a call from an African-American female complaining that we had not invited him and stating that he had done more for Black people than any president. So one of the things that we need to do, I'm not sure what she's reading, where she got that information, but one of the things we need to do is ensure that our folks are educated with where we are and who our friends are. Now, the NAACP remains a nonpartisan organization. Let me state that again. We are nonpartisan, but we are political. And that is that we do engage in political activities. We want folks to understand that even when they particularly come out of Florida and other places, when they talk about woke, that's our term. And we don't need to let them hijack our term. We need folks to stay woke. And that is stay on top of the issues, stay understanding in what we need to do. Now, how we do this on the local level is that we have 19 committees. We have 19 committees that are part of our standing committees. And each committee has a specific responsibility. Each committee has a specific responsibility, and that responsibility is to meet our goals to work through our mission statement. And I'll just share that mission statement with you very quickly. Our mission, speaking of the NAACP, is to achieve equity, political rights, and social inclusion by advancing policies and practices that expand human and civil rights, eliminate discrimination, and practices that expand human and civil rights, to eliminate discrimination and to accelerate the well-being, education, and economic security of Black people and other people of color. That's our mission statement. So that's what we're about doing. As I stated, we have 18 committees that have specific responsibilities. But at the end of the day, those 18 committees are to bring all of these activities together so that we are living up to our mission. One of the committees that we have working very diligently right now is our Freedom Fund Committee. And I want to point out that our Freedom Fund Committee has invited Derek Johnson, the national president of the NAACP, to speak with us for us this year. So Derek Johnson will be here in San Antonio on October the 24th at the Boyd Center. Our organization is a membership organization. We have memberships, and we invite individuals to join us. Whereas we have our national agenda, we have our state agenda, we have our local agenda. All agendas must lead back to the efforts that we get from our national office. So we are, as I stated, we're going to go back, we are, as I stated, nonpartisan. But we do identify presidents, and we do a scorecard on those individuals who are both presidents as well as our Congress people, as well as our state legislators, and how they vote. We currently have a president who is the most racist president we've had in modern times. We will have to go back to identify someone like Andrew Jackson or Woodrow Wilson to find a president that is as racist as the president we currently have in place. So whereas we are nonpartisan, we're not stupid. And that is that we understand that we need to ensure that those individuals who are like-minded individuals with us are those individuals who get elected. We know that in our last elections, there were some groups that did not vote. And we know that there are some groups that did not vote the way that we would have preferred them to vote. But we cannot, as an organization, we cannot tell folks how to vote. All we can do is provide them with the information. One of the things we did in our general meeting a couple of months ago is that we invited Sam Scott to come into our meeting to speak along with his wife, Janet. And the reason that Sam was important to us to come in to speak is that Sam was a U.S. diplomat, and he worked with the USAID. And the USAID is the organization that provided aid to individuals in developing countries. a lot of this aid went to Africa. So when President Trump started dismantling USAID, he was going after countries in Africa. And he referred to those countries, as we all know, as S-hole countries. And so our goal then is to ensure that we expose that type of activity. And so we appreciate those individuals coming into our meetings and sharing that information with others. Let me just add one thing here on I mentioned our committees, and let me just go through our committees very quickly, because this is really where we get the work done. The work is done through our committee systems. So we have our ATSO committee, which is a committee that deals with young people. And we understand that if we do not provide opportunities for those who are coming after us, we are a dead organization. We are a dead people. So we want to do that to ensure that we have young people. We have our Armed Services Veteran Affairs Committee, our Communication Publicity Committee, our Community Coordination Committee, our Criminal Justice Committee. One of the things our branch has done in criminal justice is that we provide expungements for some individuals who have committed crimes, and we need to expunge their records so that they could have opportunities for employment. So we work on that. We work on economic development, and that committee, our education committee is an exceptional committee. As a matter of fact, all of these committees, environmental justice committee, our Freedom Fund committee, our health committee. Dr. Eva Mason is the chair of our health committee, and they are doing an outstanding job, along with our housing committee with Aubrey Lewis, our labor and industry committee, our legal redress committee, our membership committee, our political action committee, legal affairs committee, young adults committee, and WIN committee. And I saw Brenda Clark, our chair for our WIN committee, sign on earlier today. So those are our 19 committees that we have, that are standing committees that are working for us. Then what we've done is we put together some other committees that are ad hoc committees that are dealing with ad hoc and temporary problems, starting with our college and university liaison committee. We want to ensure that we have more college campuses in place. And we have our one committee that we started recently is our history and archives committee. And that committee is led by Darlene Curtis, who is actually working with us out of Virginia. One of the things we have done is that we have written a history, or I say we, because whatever we do collectively. We've written a history of the San Antonio branch in NAACP. Darlene Curtis has written that history for us, and this has been something that has gone, what we were able to do is provide a history and archives, so that when we change and we move away, we move off the scene, our history will still be there. And so we appreciate what she has done. We also have developed a scholarship committee, and so which we had one of our contributors to give us a fairly substantial amount of money for scholarships. And so we're using that, and we're going to give scholarships out this year as well. So those are the things that we do as a branch. As I indicated, one of the things, and we see it primarily, one of our responsibilities is that of education. And that is voter education, to ensure that individuals understand who these people are who are running for office, understand the terms that are being used. For instance, we use this term gerrymandering. One of the things that we're doing with redistricting is that the NAACP is filing a lawsuit against the state of Texas. And that lawsuit is being handled by our attorneys out of our state office, as well as out of our national office. So we appreciate all of the work that they've done, but let me just share with you, our concern here is with gerrymandering, and that is where the district lines are drawn to benefit a particular political party or to injure a minority group. So when we argue against gerrymandering, we're arguing about what it does racially. When we look at the 5 districts that are being redrawn, And Representative Gervin-Hawkins can help me with this. I think all 5 of those districts are of minority districts. The only one, Lloyd Doggett got caught in that. But what we've seen the Republicans do is that they, in an effort to get after people who are Black and brown, they've actually have used, they're protected the white representatives, but they've gone after the Black and brown representatives.
And they have, and in the state of Texas, the the historical Barbara Jordan seat, Mickey Leland, Sylvester Turner, Sheila Jackson Lee, that seat is gone. And so Mark Vesey's seat is in trouble, Jasmine Crockett's seat is in trouble, and Sylvia Garcia out of the El Paso area. So we've got some challenges, and after you talk, Chairman or President, I'll kind of give everybody some background on what's happening.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Let me just add, one of the where the term gerrymandering comes from. Eric Jerrick was the governor of Massachusetts and also one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, and was the vice president of the United States under James Madison. As the governor of Massachusetts, he drew these lines that were crazy lines. And they argued it looked like a salamander. And so as a result of what Eric Jerrick did in drawing those lines, we get the term gerrymandering. So this goes back to the 1800s. And so I just simply wanted to share that with you because I am a teacher by nature. And so to provide that sort of information, how the term gerrymandering came about. What we want to do is, and I'm going to yield back to the Representative Gervin-Hawkins. But what we want to do is to ensure that as these lines are drawn, that we don't permit the Republican Party, and I say that because, again, I point out we're nonpartisan, but we're pro-Black and pro-brown. We do not want the Republican Party to draw lines in a way in which the representatives are able to choose their voters rather than the voters are able to choose their representatives. And so that is what State Representative Gervin-Hawkins did when they left the city. They left Austin and they broke the quorum, and they can't stay away forever. We know that we have one of the things that this president has done is that he's put together a judicial system that's going to support all of the crazy stuff that he does. He knows that they're in trouble. He knows that his policies are not popular. He knows that this beautiful bill that was passed is not popular. So how can I, he says, stay in office? So he threw all of this stuff out there against the wall. Throws all, and what that does is that keeps us busy. That keeps us busy working on things where as he can get a little bit of his stuff through. And he has done that very successfully. He has tainted the Supreme Court. He has tainted our judicial system. He has gone after organizations like the Department of Education. And let me just point out very quickly on the Department of Education. Howard University is the only university in the country that is a line item in the education department. Other universities and colleges can get grants, but Howard University is a line item. The other line item universities are the academies, and they're line items through the Department of Defense. There are some Indian schools that are line items also, and they're line items through the Department of Interior. But only Howard University is a line item by the Department of Education. So when he goes after the Department of Education, he goes after Howard University. We had an intern that was with us this summer, and she attends Howard University, and she's losing $15,000 in her financial aid because of Donald Trump. And so those are the types of things that we need to alert people to. Those are the types of things that we need to continue to work on. And we do invite individuals to become members. We are a membership organization. A $30 membership gets you into the organization. We represent everyone, but we have our funding. Our funding comes from membership, from people joining, and from the one fundraiser we do once a year, which is our Free to Fund dinner. And we thank State Representative Gervin-Hawkins, who was our speaker a few years ago at our Free to Fund dinner, for our Free to Fund dinner. And as I stated, Derek Johnson is going to be our speaker this year. And with that, State Representative, I yield back my time to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Hudspeth, for that. Can you make sure you put in the chat y'all's website or link, and show that it will show people how to join and/or participate and/or sponsorship. Same thing for. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you.
All right. Same for you, Gabriel. If you could do the same thing for LULAC, put it in the chat so people could get it. That would be helpful.
I've done that already, Representative. Both links are in the chat.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's what staff is. That's what staff is for.
And she is wonderful. She is wonderful. Thank you, Avery.
Yeah, make me look good, but make me look good, but you still ain't gonna get no raise, okay? So, so you know, both have shared quite a bit about their organizations, but LULAC and NAACP, not NAACP, but NAACP, both are freedom fighter organizations looking for justice for all. And so I want to just kind of share with y'all this legislative session and or this special session so that y'all can hear from me firsthand information, not what somebody told you or what somebody believed. So quorum breaking is constitutional. So it has been set in the Constitution that the minority group, and this is how intelligent our forefathers were. They knew that there potentially can be rogue leadership. So in our state constitution, they put in a provision that if the minority party was not in alignment with the majority party, you could break quorum. What does break quorum mean in Texas? That means to do business, you have to have at least 100 people present. In Texas, in the House, is 150 of us. So that meant 51 of us 62 is 88 Republican, 62 Democrat. So 51 of our Democrats had to be absent so that the Republicans could not do business, or I'll say the majority party. So what occurred was during the legislative session, it's always hard when you're in the minority, because not only has this majority have been doing bad things, I'll say, they also have been mean and evil and set up with retribution. And what's concerning to me is when you try to do retribution, you're oppressing the minority party. So once the governor didn't get everything that he wanted, he called a special session, which he can do. Every special session can last up to 30 days. So what he does is he publicly announces and then talk about the topics that he wants to cover. So on this first special session, he had 18 topics he wanted to cover or bills to address. And one of them was redistricting. How did that happen? He received a letter from the Department of Justice that said that the maps that the state of Texas is working under were illegal. Now, this is the Department of Justice out of DC saying Texas maps are illegal. Now, what was interesting is, as Gabriel pointed out, we're already in court for the maps that we have. And our senators testified, and their witnesses testified under oath that the maps were legal. So who's lying? Our state senators or the Department of Justice? But I think all of y'all have heard the president came to Abbott and said, I want to pick up 5 new congressional seats in Texas. And I want them all to be Republican leaning, because he knows that if he loses the House in 2026, he's gone. Okay. And that is the block that we need, is for to have a diverse government, not just all one party. That's how he has become as rogue as he is. So here's the issue at hand. Well, we realized that they were not prepared to take any amendments to the maps. As a matter of fact, the town halls that they had, and I'm on the redistricting committee, they had not even produced any maps to us, the committee members, and or to the public at those town halls. So as a member of the committee, I'm like, where's the maps? Let's see what y'all are trying to do. But they never produced them. When people came to testify, well, you couldn't testify for or against. You had to be what they call neutral, because they had not produced any maps. Suddenly, the day before, or the Wednesday of the week that they produced the maps, there was a vote that Friday to pass the maps. So think about it. We get the maps on Wednesday, no time to look at it, no time to analyze it, nothing. And then they voted out a committee on Friday and passed it into law on Saturday. So we realized that we were not going to get a fair shake here. Our colleagues across the aisle was not playing fair. So the only tool we had, because remember, they're in the majority, they have 88 votes to our 62. The only tool we had was quorum break. So that meant if at least 51 Democrats did not come to the floor of the House, they could not take care of business. So we decided, and guess what? This wasn't something that you planned a long time and you know, you pack in your suitcase and this and that and the other. You're told one day and you're gone within hours. And the reason for that is because the governor has the power to arrest us and take us back to the Capitol to sit on the House chamber so he can have quorum. So think about it. If the word had got out as to our location, they could have come and arrested all of us and taken us back to the Capitol and passed their maps. So we, in the cloak of darkness, fled, and we fled to Chicago, Illinois. Now, for those of you who don't know, warrants, which they had warrants out for us, civil warrants are not legal, or I won't say legal, but not enforceable in another state. So the warrants were Texas warrants. So we went to Illinois, which means those warrants, they could not come and get us. Did they look for us? Yes. We moved to 3 different hotels due to bomb threats, due to concerns about our safety. We had exterior security and interior security. But here's the problem we had in terms of our security. As y'all all know, everybody want to post stuff. They want to put it on their social media. And so some of our members who were not astute didn't know, which I didn't know either, if a forensic person looked at a carpet of a hotel and its curtain and or its tile on the floor, it can almost determine that brand of hotel and narrow down almost where you're at. So in our movement, it was all about safety. Through that time, we recognized that we had to wake up America. We had to really wake up America, because this was wrong. It's just unconscionable to me that we had to use what we call the nuclear option to be able to get out of town. People left their jobs, they left their families. I mean, we left everything, your pets. Some members are caregivers. Some members are the only breadwinner in their family. So there was a lot of sacrifice. And I'll share this with y'all. Can you imagine staying away from home for 2 weeks with 51 people that you just know professionally, and every day y'all are together, every day. I would think those of you who've been in group travel know that could be a challenge, okay? But we knew that it was important, and that's where you saw us on TV, you saw us in different states, you saw us all over the country trying to alert America what is going on and alert the people. We believe that mission was accomplished because that's all we could do at that time. Some people said, well, y'all need to stay out until election time, next election time. Who could stay out 100 days? That would be just too challenging for people. So we felt we did our part, as well as our lawyers advised us. We need enough time to be able to do the legal challenge. That is, get into courts. And so you need to give us time, get the maps passed, because we can't do anything till the maps are passed. And then that gives us the legal challenge. So right now, the hands is in our legal advisors to be able to challenge these maps as racist maps and maps to try to dilute the power of the people. We asked our colleagues, hey, let the people vote on it if they want to change these votes. They ignored us. And again, quickly they did, all because of major politics. The plan is to change the landscape of many states in America so that the people in power can stay in ultimate power. As you see the DPS on the ground, that's not because of fear of what's happening in cities criminally. We're headed to a military state. The idea is to scare the hell out of people so they don't vote, they don't participate, they go to work, they come home, and they don't do anything else. We can't do that, y'all. We can't allow that to happen. So right now, along with the legal challenge, here's what we need from each and every one of you. Even those who say my one vote don't count, it does count. We now need all of sound-minded Americans, be it Republican, Democrat, or Independent. Just realize this is a moral issue. It's not a political issue. We've got to get back on track in terms of America that is functioning. Because right now, and this is not a fear factor, this is real. With the level of cuts that have happened, people will lose their health care. That's just not saying it. It will happen. Our Department of Education right now is struggling, and grants have been frozen. So nonprofits and/or universities and/or researchers that have depended on those grants to their work has been frozen. There are so many issues out there. I won't burden y'all with all of that. But the reality is we need the people, the legal, the messaging, and the people. And we need each and every one of you to either adopt a school, civic groups, get those 11th and 12th graders that's going to be eligible to vote, get active in your civic group. And I know civic groups do some wonderful things, but right now there needs to be one agenda and one agenda only, and that is to save America. That's our goal, and that's our role right now. As legislators, we can only do so much. It's 62 of us, and it's millions of people. It's 62 of us, and it's millions of people. We will not win this war without the people. We believe we won the battle in terms of prolonging as much as we could and getting into court. We now pass the baton to the people, and that is from your faith-based civic groups and anything you're affiliated with, and anyone that you're affiliated with. Because, and I'm gonna close with this, right now during the special session, notice, we didn't address the flood issue first. That should have been the priority. The governor had the power to write a check instantaneously, but he wanted to say us being absent did that, and that's not true. I want y'all to know that. He could have did it with a stroke of a pen. He decided not to. He was holding the flood hostage to us returning because he knew we care so much about that. And so one of the other reasons we returned was to deal with the flood victims and also to make sure those catastrophes, we're ahead of those catastrophes in the future, because we know what has happened to Houston when Harvey came and many other of these things that we've had coming. So I want y'all to know I'm working hard and it's been very, very challenging, but I'm committed all the way because we must take the House of Representatives in November of 2026. So I'm gonna be quiet, happy to answer any questions and or clarify anything that anybody may have. I do want to say one other final comment though. There's the election coming up in May. We've got proclamations. I believe there's about 14 of them. We will call upon the League of Women and other interested groups to be able to come and talk to y'all about those proclamations. We've got to get smarter politically. We must do that. All right, any three of us will answer any of your questions.
Representative Jane Lewis Henricks has a question.
Proceed with your question. James Lewis Hendrick.
So the question is, what other organizations do LULAC and NAACP collaborate with in order to assist Texas exonerees of color, especially those exonerated from death row?
I don't know if I can, let me respond to that question.
Okay.
Because one of the things that we will do is that we work with all organizations. Our national office has identified organizations that we can work with to aid individuals with regards to their legal issues or social issues, political issues, etc. So we work very closely with the Divine Nine. We work very closely with our churches. We work very closely with other social organizations in order to help. First, we have a common agenda, and we work with them in an effort to ensure that everyone's rights are being adhered to. One of the things that, if I could go back to one thing that State Representative Gervin-Hawkins suggested, and that is that when there's an urgency in what we're doing. The new thing for the NAACP is the urgency of now, the fierce urgency of now. And we actually borrowed that from Martin Luther King's speech on the Washington Monument, but Jefferson Monument, I'm sorry. But the urgency, the fierce urgency of now. I don't know if LULAC has a response.
Yeah, I do. Actually, we have some LULAC councils have different types of organizations that they represent. Fuerza Unida, Domestico Unidas. One of them is our partner is Stephen Huerta, and he works with the All or None. So we work together with him to identify other organizations that we can work closely with, like the Texas Criminal Justice Coalition and others. So when we do get those particular issues that they get called, because I do get called from family members about what's happening in the prison systems. And so we want to work together with every people to address those specific issues and anything that we can do. And if you have any recommendations on who we should be working with, feel free just to give us a call, let us know. But we've been building coalitions across the country and working with everyone that'll work with us because we know that we're stronger together. I just wanted to make one point, Ms. Hawkins, real quick, that I thought was critical because that you brought up is the Texas legislature has been trying to destroy our schools. They haven't been trying, they have destroyed them. So LULAC has put a push to start our youth councils in area high schools here. Elisa Thomas, my district director, is working together with the Alamo Community College districts to push the Promise program, to push our kids to continue to take advantage of the college here and just pay attention to our young people. They need our attention more than ever.
Good point. Good point. We have anybody else? I saw Tracy Shelton's hand up. Tracy.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Representative. I had a really tough board meeting last night. I am physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted from just 1 hour. And so I want to say that I know that you have to be physically, mentally, emotionally exhausted. And I am grateful that you are standing for us. I would not have realized that we would need you for a time like this. And so I want to say thank you. But I also know that if you're staying in a Marriott, for example, those hotel rooms are at a minimum 129 a night for 2 weeks. And so how do we help you and the 51 replenish the funds that were required for you to do this really hard work on our behalf?
What I'll do, we have a link to our website, and so we'll push it out to the Power Breakfast folks in general, and we'll get it out to you, okay? And if I can navigate that on my cell phone, I'll try to do it in the chat. But we'll get it out, at least push it out to our Power Breakfast supporters. Thank you for that. And really right now, we're also looking to raise funds mainly for our legal defense. You know, one of the things that we must do is mount a legal defense. But thank you for that, and I'll get it in the chat for you.
Thank you.
All right, we have a question by Judge Yolanda Huff.
Yes,
Yes.
good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I'm getting ready to get on the bench in a few minutes, but I did want to say this. Barbara Gervin-Hawkins, she's been such a great supporter of mine ever since I decided to run back in 2018. But since I've been on the bench, what I've been pushing, what I've been trying to educate the community about these specialty courts, the treatment courts, and that young lady that asked about the exoneration, there are so many resources in the judiciary that the community just does not seem to understand and know about. For example, we have 15 treatment courts that serve everything from veterans, drugs, alcohol, mental health. I preside over the mental health court. And on my PTD docket, this is the greatest information. If that person successfully completes my mental health court, a 12-month program, not only does the case get dismissed, it gets totally expunged from your record for free. Because all of you guys on this Zoom, you're taxpayers, you're paying for that. Only Barrett County residents can avail themselves of these treatment courts. And this goes for the veterans. These treatment courts keep and save the veterans' jobs, their career, because again, the case is completely dismissed and expunged from their record for free. If you guys want to know more, anyone is welcome to come to my court to shadow the mental health court. Come learn about these programs. They're available to anyone for free in Bexar County for free. You guys are paying for these programs. Please tell other people. Who wouldn't want a free dismissal and expungement, right? This is you guys are paying for these. So I want you guys to know that they exist. And that has just been the biggest push I've been doing since I've been on the bench. And I'm up for my third term as judge. I'm up for re-election, so I would appreciate all of your support. And I thank Barbara Gervin-Hawkins for her continued support of me. Thank you guys for listening to me.
Thank you, Judge. Could you put information so people can find out, or is it a posting of when you hold court?
Yes,
when they can
I
come.
wish I was savvy enough to put a link to the 15 special courts of the book. I'll try to get that that link, because we have hard copies of the resource book, and then we have a digital copy. Let me see if I can post a digital copy for you guys. Okay, thank you guys. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, I'm not technically savvy. I need my kids to do that.
Judge Huff, if you just put the address in, one of us can come by and pick it up. This is
yes,
office.
okay, I can definitely do
Put the
that
address
right
and we'll come by and get the physical copy
Okay.
and do what we need to do to help.
Okay, I'm gonna
Rep,
put that
you
in.
have Donna Tucker who has a question, then Dexter Sadler, then Beverly Watts.
All right, go in that order, please.
Donna Tucker. Okay. Ms. Tucker's question was, when the executive branch and the judicial branch of the United States are corrupt, how will a lawsuit help? Corrupt Texas officials are winning. How will suing these politicians in power solve the gerrymandering?
So we
was
won't
able to
say,
find my mic, but yeah, I've been asked that. I'm so sorry. I have difficulty sometimes with pulling up the mic.
no problem. I'd like to answer your question though.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Ma'am, I don't know who you are. I apologize.
Hold on. This
Okay.
is Representative Gervin-Hawkins, and I'm gonna answer your question. Okay. So every court is not corrupt. You've got some who will look at the law and rule in a more favorable setting. So every court, let's be clear on that. So our hope and prayer is that
Marty, you see that address?
I Ariel, we can hear you. Would you mute, please? Our hope and prayer is that we have a strong enough case that whatever court we get, the Supreme Court, it will go to the Supreme Court. They realize that it's so atrocious that they will rule favorable on these maps. So there is a chance. Our attorneys have shared with us it's a 50-50 chance. And so we must be able to give that opportunity. And more recently, some of these maps have been challenged in court, and the courts have been favorable and have ruled them as racist and ineligible and need to draw new maps. So that has occurred. So there's an opportunity.
Ms.
Next
Hawkins,
question.
may I
Yes.
respond to that as well? I
Yes, you
think
may.
the consensus, the consensus is with all the organizations and us filing lawsuits also gives us the opportunity to document what's going on. Whether we win or lose these cases, it's important that we document the fights that are going on within the judicial system. So I think that's another important part of why we should file these lawsuits, and the benefit of filing a lawsuit is so our argument can be heard, win, lose, or draw. Thank you.
And let me just add one other thing to that. As we file these lawsuits, we're filing them based on racial discrimination and not political discrimination or based on a partisan act. The Supreme Court has already ruled that they can engage in gerrymandering for political reasons, but they cannot engage in gerrymandering for racial reasons. And so we'll continue to push that. And as the representative said, hopefully we'll find a court that will understand that race does matter.
Thank you for that. And then now we've got Dexter, and then we've got Beverly Watts. So we're going to go, well, hold on, we're going to go to 9:15 today, only because these are some great questions, and we want to get as many of them as possible and get people engaged. Go ahead, Dexter. Then Beverly.
Yes, good morning and thank you. I want to say, Representative Gervin-Hawkins, you are a warrior. When I came home from my deployment to the Middle East, I was walking home and everybody says, thank you for your service. I want to say, as a military combat veteran, thank you and all of the state representatives on the Democratic side, fighting for justice, doing the right thing, standing up when others sit down. Thank you for your service. You are a hero, you and your fellow representatives. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Beverly.
Well, as always, Barbara, you and all the others have shown us what a real shero is, and I want to thank you for what you all have done. I do want to be able to say, I know that during the time we always talk about voting when it comes, we get close to elections. I would truly ask the NAACP and LULAC, for us to be of the movement to start all of the registrations and everything now. We don't need to wait till we get close to the elections, but to start that now so that we are prepared. There is, if all the people who could vote did vote, we wouldn't have the situation that we're looking at now. So that's number one, to start organizing by going to churches. Let each church have a membership contest, and maybe what we can do is truly pull people together to figure out what we can do that would be an incentive for people to just engage in making sure that we are ready, that we're prepared. We can't wait until election time to start getting prepared. We need to do that now. But the other thing I just wanted to be able to highlight, Judge Huff, we have a weekly email that goes out, and I know that State Representative, and I'll get with her staff to see if we can't send that to you, but we have a weekly newsletter that goes out. It hits over 4,000 people. Please give us the information and we'll put it in the weekly newsletter, and we'll keep reminding people about your court and the resources that are for that you have in your court. That's number two. Number three, our next steps. And I just want to be able to literally say that collective action can be effective. And I can share with you all, we went up against DOSH, the field of prevention went up against DOSH, and they made the mistake of actually canceling out eligibility for a number of people. They happened to actually do that to us at WestCare. and we took them on, and I want you all to know we won. We thought we would be retaliated against because of that. And we were able to get not only the funding for us, but we were able to get a funding for over 200 other organizations across the country. It can be done, but it as Representative Hawkins has said, it is about truly knowing the law and being able to stand on the law and the precedents. I do think we will prevail. The point is when we do prevail, will everyone say it's just too late and we should just leave it as it is, which I believe is the other part of the strategy. But thank you for the collective action. We have shown that it works. And now the next step, what is the most important aside from getting people registered? Should we be and collecting, taking our pennies, our few pennies and stuff to make many to help support you all? Is it to support the legal defense fund? Is it to help get you all reimbursed? What's the most important thing we need to do next, Representative?
I think the most important thing right now is to make sure we're letting people know what's going on. We have to educate people. A
Okay.
lot of times we assume people know and fully understand. And I'm not saying debating or arguing with people and or their position, but truly just laying out the facts, okay? And what's happening in America now and what's proposed in the future is dangerous for all of us. So I think educating people, having those little small coffees, or when you get together with family and friends. But I want to reiterate, not argue or fuss about one's position, but really just laying out the facts so people could they could understand. Most people, if they know better, they'll do better. And I really believe that. So that's one. Donating funds to our legal defense fund is the biggest thing right now. We're working through our fines. They're now talking about us going through hearings on those, and or they will try mediation at first. So we don't know what that will look like, but we have all maintained our due process. And so we've got to go to court. We've got to do it just based on the fines. So we're ready. So getting people registered, but not just registered, but being committed to get people to the polls.
Right.
So as I tell people, this is not a marathon. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And so what we've got to be able to do is stay committed at least until November of next year. So I'm meeting with pastors across the state of Texas. We meet every week to talk about how we can mobilize and get people engaged so that we can, and that's not just the Black preachers, it's all preachers, so that wherever there's an ally or a like-minded thinker, we're bringing those people under the tent to be able to defeat this monster out here. We've got to be able to do it. So staying engaged, educating, getting people registered, and being committed to taking people to the polls, because there will be some cheating going on. We had a bill come through yesterday that says that you can't do same day registration. If you move from county to county because of your address change, if you didn't register in your old county, you can't vote in the new county. So also that's the other thing. People need to check their voter registration. Some people are going to be dropped off the rolls because their ID didn't match their driver's license or just petty stuff. So staying in tune to how active your voter card is so critical right now. They tried to drop off 14 million people from the rolls through passing a law that says that if you haven't registered in the last year, then you're no longer registered. So every trick in the book, they're going to try. That just means we've got to be on top of it. They've got Project 2025. We need Project 2026. So November of 2026 is where you've got to get committed to get this work done. Any other questions?
And Barbara, I just want to let you know, we took your letter that you sent out and we're putting that into our weekly newsletter that you sent to us so that we can continue to get it out, and it will be out every week from here till Election Day in 2026. We'll keep telling people the things that you've said.
Sounds good. And even though on the Power Breakfast, we're going to talk about the projects that's impacting our city even more, but we will create a segment just to keep y'all involved in this political war, because we're definitely in a war right now. the governor has added to the call. And so they're talking about the punishment they want to give us. Can you imagine your colleagues saying, we're going to punish y'all? And I'm like, first of all, I'm not a child, nor am I a runaway slave. So to punish us, create that retribution is just so disheartening. So how do you look someone in the eye and they're smiling and grinning on one hand and then saying on the next, we're going to punish you for what y'all have done, even though what we have done is constitutional. And I just want to also be clear, we didn't run. They kept saying you ran, you weren't here. No, we didn't run. We fled to a place that was welcoming, and we fled to a place where we would be safe to give out our message. Now, some of y'all saw my colleague, Nicole Collier, who refused to leave the chamber. Well, Rep. Collier refused to leave the chamber. I was the last one sitting with her prior to that, and I would have stayed also, but I had the redistricting hearing, and I wanted to make sure I knew what was going on. And they've changed 12 additional districts. So I just want to be clear. They started with 5. Now they've got an additional 7 for a total of 12 districts that they have packed, cracked, and messed up to make them more Republican leaning. So I know we don't talk a lot about that, but it's no longer just 5. It's a total of 12. And so when Nicole Collier decided to stay, her thing was, we must fight. And I think she got that point across because it even energized some of my Democratic colleagues to not just roll over and take up what the Republicans are giving, but now everybody have a fighting spirit. And you know, sometimes it just takes that one match to flame up a whole lot of people. And so I think we're on the right track, but we need y'all. We cannot finish this race successfully or win this war or save democracy without the people. So when y'all see me on the streets and you say, well, Barbara, what you gonna do? I'm gonna tell you up front, it ain't what I'm gonna do, it's what we gonna do together. Any other questions before we depart?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. John Cooper.
Go ahead, Mr. Cooper.
Good morning, all, and Representative Gervin-Hawkins. I just want to say we salute you and we thank you and your fellow Texas Democrat legislators for your leadership, commitment, and service. And a side note is that we have programs that will lend itself to this effort. And a praise report, more help is on the way from the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated and our Omega Network for Action. And that's what we're talking about here. We can't just talk about it. We got to be about it, and our actions speak louder than our words. So VREM has got to be alive and well. And so count us in, put us in the game, Coach. I
appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. And that's what we need. We need everybody in the game because everybody has a role to play. So if there's no more questions in closing, Josey, I see you're logged in. Representative Garcia, did you want to say anything? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am, I do. You said we were staying until 9:15 and I have to take 2 seconds for 2 minutes.
Okay.
I promise. All right.
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Okay, hold on.
Now I can.
How's this?
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Family, I just want to let you know what we just experienced was something that we have already experienced multiple times in our history. The unjust criminalization of us as Black and brown people. This is literally historic in terms of we've already fought this war before. And I couldn't be more proud than to have Representative Barbara Gervin-Hawkins as our leader in this fight, because I'll tell y'all, we have been dodging bomb threats, we have been dodging lunatics, but I'll tell you what, they got the right ones at the right time at this moment in history. And together, we're gonna do amazing things. Rep. Gervin-Hawkins and I have some town halls that are gonna be coming to a location near you. If there is a topic you would like to discuss, if there is a location you would like for us to go, please invite us. Also, we're going to be doing several church tours as mentioned, but we are also going to be giving sermons and giving speeches and stuff like that to help keep the community motivated. One final thing. It was mentioned the spiritual, the emotional, and just the physical impact of this. It's real. My veterans, when I tell you I have been in a constant state of fight or flight over the last 3 weeks to a month, I can't even describe it, but that's exactly what it is. We need all boots on the ground. And thank you all so much for everything. Reach out to us if you need me. I'm here. If you need Rep. Gervin-Hawkins, I'm here backing her up. We have a wonderful team that's doing great things. One final thing, there is a set of us. There are 6 women legislators. Myself from San Antonio, Jolanda Jones from Houston, Charlene Ward Johnson from Houston, Aisha Davis from Dallas, Anna Marie Ramos from Dallas, that are the Texas Re-Sisters, R-E Sisters, Resistors. We have resisted. We have not returned back to the Capitol for the second session because our freedom has already been paid for with my DD 214, and I will not return to bend my knee to terroristic threats from the governor. So we are also doing a tour to many places in Texas, to include a couple of sundown towns where we have some Democrats out there who are scared for their lives and need some motivation. So thank you so much, Rep. Gervin-Hawkins, for loving us and for nurturing us and for helping to keep me sane while we broke quorum, because I was ready to fight all the time, and Rep. Gervin-Hawkins was able to keep me on track and stay focused on the whole apparatus of this hate that's happening. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. We've got a final question from Lucy Adami Clark. We can't hear you, Lucy. Turn it on. Turn your device on.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, State Rep Hudspeth. State Rep Barbara Hawkins, for having this meeting. I just wanted to compliment Rosales and Hudspeth, Dr. Hudspeth. As a county clerk and 254 county clerks, we've been rushing to preserve the historical records going back to the slavery days, whether it's Latinos, African Americans, since I walked into office in 2019. We're at 75% completed on preservation. And on the judicial records, we actually, as 4 months as I came into office, because I came from the sheriff's office, I went in front of Commissioner's Court and asked for automation of all the judicial misdemeanor cases prior to COVID that allowed all the 13 courts, criminal courts, and 2 civil courts and 3 probate courts, then it was 2, to work remotely during COVID. So as a clerk that came with institutional knowledge, it was very important for me to make sure that we automated, preserved, digitized, and added these records online. We are actually 75% completed on the historical records that go back to the African-American slavery days. And State Rep Barbara Hawkins, I just want to give you credit. Kerr County was out of Bexar County District 2 that was built in 1856. It came out of Bexar County. So we gave birth to 128 counties. So this annexation, this gerrymandering, we're still seeing it in Bexar County. I live in Elmendorf, unincorporated county area, and there's gerrymandering happening in our unincorporated Bexar County area, and we're the 4th largest county in the state of Texas. So thank you, and thank you, Josey Garcia, state rep, and any state rep for fighting the good fight and taking on something that many of us were watching and supporting you all from locally from Bexar County. So thank you.
Thank you for that, County Clerk. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for participating in the Power Breakfast. I thank all of our speakers for your insight and your wisdom. Let's stay connected. I'll see y'all next month, Tuesday. We meet the 4th Tuesday of every month, and we start at 8 a.m. prompt. So again, have a great day, everyone. If you need anything, contact my office, and we'll make sure we'll get it to you. Take care.